guys, we are back with another video. So last time we talked,
we kind of told our story, how we met, the courtship, and all the details kind of leading up to that, and even up to the proposal.
And now we're planning our wedding. We are really getting down the road to becoming man and wife. And so there's some things that came up during that time. You know, there was a lot of planning. Money was an issue. We both were in the military. We weren't making a lot of money. We weren't making, and our parents are not rich people. And so there was a lot of things that we had to work through. At the time I made a decision that I was going to re-enlist in the Air Force again. And by virtue of what I did while I was in the Air Force, they were offering a significant bonus for me to sign back on for another 6 years. So that kind of took care of the money component.
Right.
But then we had to look at debt and things like that. I didn't have any debt. I had a car. That was it. She had a significant amount of debt, no fault of her own. You gotta certain things happen. Things happen, and we don't want to call anybody out. This is a family matter, but when people use your credit, and you don't know about it, and
you overseas?
And family members do stuff like that, it really can jack up some, and it could have caused a lot of problems. But I understood what we were up against, and I understood that these things happen because I've seen it happen to other people around me and stuff like that. When you grow up poor, there's a certain mentality that comes along with it. And so I was able to pay off all of her debt. That's how serious I was about this thing, and pay off all of her debt. And we went into marriage debt free. And thank goodness we did, because as soon as we got married, we got pregnant. So that's another story. So
yes,
yeah. Like, what was your thought process about the wedding? What was your vision for the wedding?
Honestly, because of our budget, and we were funding the whole thing.
Yeah.
I just wanted it to be something that was simple, elegant. Nothing that had to be super fancy. But honestly, I wanted to be married to you. So it wasn't like how it is now. You can just go on the internet or go on like these websites where you can create your page, and it wasn't any of that. It was like old school kind of going through with the book. And then later on, through the chapel, we had kind of like a wedding coordinator. That lady was a mess.
She was terrible.
Horrible.
And so we were able to utilize resources that most people don't have access to. So mind you, we're in the military, so we have access to a chapel, beautiful chapel, by the way, that we didn't have to pay much of anything to use it.
Right.
We just had to coordinate our days. And where the base was stationed at, the base station that is literally on a beach. Like there's literally right across the highway is a beach, white sand, green water, beautiful view. So we were able to use what we were naturally given and what we had because of our military benefits to have a beautiful wedding and beautiful pictures. So all in all, we spent about $4,000 on our wedding.
Yeah,
that was it. And we
that includes tux, dress,
catering, invitations, everything. Yeah.
The little souvenirs that we got. Yeah.
We didn't go crazy. At all. Yeah. And we had people we knew had spent upwards of $10,000, $15,000, even more on their wedding. They didn't even make it. So that's kind of where we were, and we stayed in our lane, and we did what we were supposed to do. So what went wrong? Because Murphy's Law says if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. So there's a few things that went wrong on our wedding day.
On the wedding day, yeah.
When you're dealing with a large group of people, and we're dealing with people who don't really know how to do things the right way, or don't really have the want to do the right way. I'm trying to speak very generally because we're talking about my family. We're talking about family. We're talking about my family and her family. So we're trying to bring these two families together from different locations, nearby, but different locations. My family's in Mississippi. She had family. Most of them were coming from Alabama, and even from Virginia, some of them were coming. And so you're trying to coordinate that, and we're on a military base. You can't just walk onto a military base. You gotta be coordinated. You gotta be signed in, all that stuff. And it was a lot going on. And people that don't understand that lifestyle, they don't. So your family takes out driving to us like
from Pensacola. So from Mobile to Pensacola to Fort Walton Beach, and
that's about a 2-hour drive.
That's easily, hour and 45 minutes, 2-hour drive. An hour before the wedding starts, they leave.
Yeah.
to somewhere they've never been, they go.
Yeah, and then request us to hold up the wedding.
And so we're getting married on a military base at a chapel. It's regimented because there's another wedding coming after us. So we've got a set time. There's a small window. One of my aunts in particular that had like beautiful programs for
flowers.
Our wedding, flowers made. None of it arrived. So my bridesmaids had to go down the aisle like this. There were no programs to hand to people. Back in the day, everybody had programs. So this was last minute. Okay, go down the aisle like this. These are your flowers today.
Yes.
So that was kind of on my end.
Yeah, and then my I think it was my sister-in-law or something like that. She didn't have a dress and trying to get to the mall. Like all this stuff is happening. We're trying to like coordinate. And this is, and mind you, this is pre-cell phone, guys. This is pre-cell phone. This is the year 2001. So this isn't like everybody got a cell phone. Only a few people had a cell phone even then, and they weren't that great. And so it was a lot going on.
So then the sister-in-law she doesn't come to the wedding because she didn't come with a dress, and she wanted to go dress shopping, but we couldn't physically. We didn't have time because we literally had to get ready for the wedding and pick up cake and all that kind of stuff. Didn't have, and they were out of town, so they didn't really know their way around.
Yeah, and this is pre-Google Maps, guys. This is before Google.
Was it like MapQuest days?
It was MapQuest days. We were married too long, but all this stuff is going on. All this stuff is going on. We got everybody. We had just started renting a townhouse. I'm still in my dorm room. She's in the townhouse. Obviously, we didn't live together before we got married. We didn't cohabitate. That's a whole other thing. And so we're trying to get everybody together, and it's like herding cats. It's like herding cats.
So then on my side, so you're getting ready in the back. Y'all like chilling, right?
At this point, it's all over but the crying for me. I'm thinking about after the ceremony, if you know what I mean.
Well, on my side, I'm getting makeup done. My mom is like a wreck. She's a wreck. She's like, okay, where y'all at? She's trying to get her family to show up, and they're not gonna make it, y'all. Literally, they leave an hour before a 2-hour drive. Like you're not gonna make it.
The math ain't mathing.
So I was just like, why don't you just come to the reception? Well, I guess they were so hurt that they missed the wedding. They didn't even come to the reception.
They literally turn around.
They turn around and go back. So my mom, we're in a chapel, which is a church. My mom is cussing in the back, dropping the S-bomb. I'm like, what are you doing? We're in the church. The room stops, stares at me. I am so embarrassed. I'm just like, I am just so ready to walk down this aisle right now. So that's my side of things.
And we're the men. My dad's one of my best men. My brother's the other one, and a friend from high school. And we're good.
And
we over there. We're chilling.
Y'all chilling.
My dad's got the rings. You know.
My brother's over there.
Yeah, your brother. Yeah,
y'all chilling.
And your dad's kind of in between the rooms, but we're chilling. Like, look, we ain't worried about nothing right now.
We sitting up cussing on my side.
My guy, my dad's there. You know, he's holding everything down. We good. We all dressed up. We looking good. And so the wedding pops off.
Oh, and then real quick, the wedding coordinator, who was horrible, by the way, she gives the boot. So she gives the boutonniere to
she gives my mom flower. She pins it on me.
Yeah.
So I got this big old flower on my chest. And I'll see if I can find a picture. This big old flower on my chest. I'm like, this thing
gives the boutonniere that's supposed to go on his chest to my mother-in-law.
Yeah, and I'm like, this thing is really big. I'm thinking like,
and he kept saying like, this is really, and she's like, no, this is the flower. I forgot where she was from. She had a cool accent.
Dutch. I think she was Dutch.
This is the flower. No, that's it. And he was like, really? This is the flower?
It's a huge flower.
And he kept saying, I keep smelling this flower.
And I don't like flowers. I don't like the way I don't like none of that.
It had baby's breath.
It was, and then I get and as soon as the first thing my mom says after I get married, you wearing my flower, boy. And I'm like, how am I supposed to know? I knew it was too big, so we had a good laugh about that. We had a really good laugh about that. But it's all over. You know, it was a beautiful ceremony. Yeah. I'm not worried about it. Like, we're not, but my mother-in-law is hot. She is fish grease hot.
Fuming
because she acted like it was her wedding. And then to this day, if you bring up our wedding, she gets mad. And I'm like, you act like you got married today or something like that. You should be happy that 21 years later, we're still together and we're still obviously madly in love with each other. But craziness. It was so much going on that day that by the time we got alone together, we were exhausted. We were absolutely exhausted because it was just so much going on that day.
So many little details.
Yeah, but one thing we would like, just you guys understand, is like, look, things are going to go wrong. The day is not going to be perfect. And even if it does go perfect, guess what? It's one day. Mm-hmm. It's one day. And I remember glimpses of that. And even your ex showed up to the wedding.
Oh, yeah. The uninvited ex.
The uninvited guest shows up. This ex-boyfriend of hers that she was stationed with overseas somehow magically finds out the date and time of our wedding.
I mean,
and shows up.
Don't even, yeah. He's
shows up to the wedding. So I guess he didn't think that she had told me who he was. I had seen pictures of the dude. She told me who he was. And I saw him walk in. I'm like, oh, you want to act a fool today.
It was such a G move what he did.
So I make a beeline for this cat.
It was a G move.
After the wedding, because the pastor asked anybody, and I was like, if he say something, I'm whooping this behind. We fighting up in here today because that's what's gonna happen. If he say one harm word up in here, I'm putting these paws on him, and he ain't no big guy either. So I was like, ooh, it was gonna be a problem. So we get to the wedding. So I make a beeline for this dude, and I literally shake his hand, grab his hand, squeeze it, call him by his first name.
By his name.
How you doing? What brings you here? And he's petrified at this point because he's like, how do you know me? Well, we actually talk. And we're in a real relationship, and we're not here to play no games. And so, yeah, he scurries off somewhere. I never see him again. I never see him again.
He leaves quick.
He left real quick. He kind of gave her like a little side hug or something like that, and then he was out. Yeah, because he knew there was no.
But come to find out, he was invited by one of my bridesmaid or something. She told him the details of it, and I guess he takes it upon himself to show up.
Well, it was messy, and I ain't like it.
Yeah.
Look, guys, things are gonna go haywire.
Yes.
On your wedding day. It's gonna happen, but you gotta understand it's just one day. It's just one day of many together, and don't get so caught in the minutia that you just miss out on seeing the good things. Because all I remember is her. All I really remember that day is her. That's all I remember, and it's all that mattered, really. And now, as I look back 21 years later, it's always been her.
Yeah. Same here. That's all I remember. Even it was chaotic and crazy, and I felt myself getting kind of pulled into some of the drama of that day. But my favorite part was us standing up there lighting our candle, and I look over at him, and he gives me this big old beautiful smile, and I look back at him, and I go, "This is it. This is why I'm doing it." And all that other stuff, everyone walking out, it just didn't matter. And definitely to the ladies, I want to encourage you. You are going to really feel the urge to just try to execute, make sure every detail is perfect, and it just doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's always the way it's been with us. We've always taken an approach of things when it comes to life, and even the hard times. We've always taken an approach that it's about the long run, not right now.
Yeah.
You get that marriage certificate signed to your husband and wife in the eyes of the Lord and the state of whatever state you in, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
At 21 years, I love her more now than the day I married her. And we have so much of a deeper love and respect for each other than the day we got married. So if you don't hear anything else, guys, just enjoy the day, but fight for the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And with that, guys, we're going to go celebrate our anniversary, and I think that's enough said.